Trump is crashing the stock market by 20% this month, but he's doing it on purpose. And this is why Warren Buffett just said Trump is making the best economic moves he's seen in over 50 years. Now, here's the secret game he's playing, and it could make you rich. So why is he doing this? To push cash into treasuries, which forces the Fed to slash interest rates in May, and those lower rates give the Fed the ability to refinance trillions of debt very inexpensively. It also weakens the dollar and drops mortgage rates. Now, it's a wild chess move, but it's working. Now, you're probably wondering, what about his tariffs? Well, I'll tell you, it's a genius play. It actually forces companies to build here to dodge them. It also forces farmers to sell more of their products here in the US to bring grocery prices way down. We've already seen this with eggs. Now, remember, 94% of all stocks are owned only by 8% of Americans. So Trump, he's taking from the rich short term and handing it to the middle class through lower prices.
I don't have any flashy background videos, but I'm going to break down this absolute load of junk Trump worshipping video. Let me explain to you why that's total junk. So the first thing he says is the tariffs are great because it's going to bring production here. That will take years. By then, you've got midterms in 2 years, you've got a new government in 4 years. You're not going to get one plant built in 4 years. So that is not going to happen, right? Trump's 500 billion in investment is just people spouting their mouth off. It never happens. They just lie, all these companies. They don't really do it. And I mean, this is the 100 billionth time we've seen a company lie. I mean, everyone knows when Apple says they're going to build 500 billion in the US, that's not going to happen. Okay? They'll do maybe 5 billion, 10 billion, but they ain't doing 500. Okay? And yeah, so now, let's say you do move a factory to America. Let's say they create the iPhone in America. They build it in America. They put the factory over and they start building it in America. So firstly, let's forget the parts are from China as well. But let's say they also get the parts as well in America. How much do you think that phone's going to cost? Well, it will be $3,000 because you've got the healthcare benefits of the workers. You've got their time is, capped. You've got their wages are unionized. You've got the parts coming from America, which is the same things as well. It makes it a $3,000 phone. Now, let's say you do a $3,000 phone. Do you think anyone in the world is going to buy your $3,000 iPhone from America or the $1,000 iPhone from China? That's right. No one will be touching the US version. And so therefore, you are just having a domestic market, but then you've only got American people who can buy an iPhone. So you cannot offset the price of that iPhone with global consumption. So your economies of scale is very small. In that case, therefore, it becomes a 4K iPhone because you can only sell to 330 million people rather than 5 billion people. They're buying the Chinese version. You're only stuck with your tiny little market there. So it totally boggles the mind that anyone believes this junk from the Trump administration because it's total crap, right? It's not true. No one will be reshoring, manufacturing jobs will not be coming back, plants will not be coming back. Again, a little bit here, a little bit there, but nothing major. Apple's production is not moving all the way back to America. It's just not going to happen. And that's it. So that's the first thing. Second thing he's saying, but we're going to reduce inflation. No, you will not reduce inflation because by putting up tariffs, the consumer will have either choice. Pay for the foreign good, 25% extra, or pay for the American good, which because of the healthcare and the way it works and the higher wages and everything in the supply chain, I'm now paying 20% more for the American good. So 25% or 20%. That means inflation is going up. That's the only option. So therefore, the Fed also can't reduce interest rates, okay? Because when inflation is high, they have to keep interest rates high. They're supposed to. Now, do I think they will do? No. I think the Fed will see they're in a recession and the US is going into recession, right? That's a done deal. So they're going to go into recession and then the Fed will slash the rates, but inflation will be high. And that causes stagflation. That's the problem. You have continuous inflation making people poorer. Interest rates aren't matching that inflation rate, and therefore you are left stagnating doesn't go anywhere. It's a very, very bad, it makes inflation go out of control. That is what's going to happen. Unless the Fed does keep rates higher for longer, which they could do because they're totally politicized and they're basically Democrat and they want to see the end of Trump. So that's what he did, by the way, in 2017. Trump was screaming at him to please drop interest rates. He was right then, Trump, and they caused a massive repo crash. And eventually they cut rates because they screwed up the whole economy. They kept rates way too high. There was no inflation then, so it was just simply a political play just to annoy Trump. Now, inflation is very high, much higher than they think, and with these tariffs will go higher. So the Fed, they'll probably cut because of recession, but again, there is a chance that they leave it higher as well, which again leaves everyone incapacitated. Now, the one thing that is true is Treasury bonds yields are going lower, and US, the dollar is also weakening. So these are two things that are true, that is happening. But that's just a flight to safety because people are panicking. They don't know what to do with their money. So they're taking out of stocks and they're putting it in things. Now, you want to buy stocks, these idiots who want to buy the dip. Again, Friday was the highest time hedge funds have sold the most amount of money ever since COVID, right? The beginning of COVID. And it was also the time where retail suckers went and bought the dip like a bunch of retail suckers for the highest time. So that is your differentiation. Until something changes, which it will very soon, I think Trump's bluffing in my opinion. I don't think he's going to hold these tariffs for much longer. China has retaliated. They are not kissing the ring. Obviously, of the weak countries, pathetic, emasculated countries like the Anzacs, basically the UK, British Empire, which is Canada, Australia, UK, all kissing the ring, all trying to, even they don't even have tariffs on the USA, so that's another lie. UK has zero tariffs on US goods, but they're going to kiss the ring and do whatever he wants just to get rid of the 10% tariff. Even then, the big boys, which is China, is saying, no, we're not bowing down, and EU is saying it won't, but we'll see about that. If those two hold strong, Trump is going to cave within 2 months. He's not going to be able to have that hit on the American consumer. There will be riots in the street if he does keep this up. And so there's my breakdown of that absolutely stupid Trump propaganda video.